Chapter 1. The Ghost in the Sky, Asteroid 2019. Okay. It was July 2019, a regular Thursday. In Brazil, a family sat down for dinner. In Tokyo, office workers poured their morning coffee. Billions of ordinary moments, none of them knowing that a cosmic bullet had been cutting through space for days. We spotted it just 24 hours before its closest approach. Its name, 2019 OK. A chunk of rock 100 meters wide, moving at over 24 kilometers per second, fast enough to cross the United States in under 4 minutes. It missed us by 70,000 kilometers. That sounds like a lot, until you realize the moon sits 384,000 kilometers away. This rock passed closer than some of our own satellites. We were almost completely blind to it. If it had shifted its path by the tiniest fraction, the impact would have released energy equal to a 75 megaton nuclear bomb, 30 times Hiroshima. No sirens, no evacuation, just a blinding white flash. And then, in a single second, a city simply ceases to exist. Buildings don't crumble, they vaporize. Scientists openly use the word terrifying in their press releases. One called it the most dangerous object we didn't know about. We were lucky, and we almost didn't notice. Chapter 2. The Day the Lights Died. 2012 Solar Superstorm. This one doesn't explode, doesn't crash, doesn't roar. It would simply turn everything off. In July 2012, the sun unleashed the most powerful solar storm in 150 years, a colossal wave of magnetized plasma tearing through space at millions of kilometers per hour, aimed directly at Earth's position. It missed us by 9 days. 9 days is how long it took our planet to travel far enough along its orbit to dodge the blast. Any earlier, and we'd have been standing directly in its path. The storm would have fried power grids across North America and Europe simultaneously. Those massive transformers, the backbone of every grid, weigh up to 400 tons, take over a year to manufacture, and only a handful of factories on Earth build them. When they burn, they stay burned. For years. No electricity, no internet, no fuel, no refrigeration for food or medicine. Hospitals running on generators until the diesel runs out. Experts estimated recovery would take 4 to 10 years, with losses exceeding $2 trillion. Not a war, not a weapon, just the sun, and the entire modern world quietly unraveling. Chapter 3. The Great Dying, Earth's Closest Call. This one didn't happen last year or last century. It happened 252 million years ago, and it is, without question, the closest life on Earth has ever come to total annihilation. Scientists call it the Permian-Triassic extinction event. Everyone else calls it the Great Dying. Massive volcanic eruptions in what is now Siberia lasted for tens of thousands of years, pumping carbon into the atmosphere and triggering runaway warming. Oceans heated up, acidified, and suffocated. Wildfires swept continents. Freshwater turned toxic. And then life, almost entirely, stopped. 96% of all marine species gone. Coral reefs, fish, ancient ecosystems built over hundreds of millions of years, erased. On land, 70% of all species vanished. The planet fell silent in a way it never had before and never has since. Recovery took 10 million years. Now the part that should make you sit up straight. The rate of greenhouse gases released during the Great Dying is 10 to 20 times slower than what humans are releasing today. That extinction took tens of thousands of years to push the planet over the edge. We are doing it faster, much faster. Chapter 4. The 46th Cent Ship, NORAD, 1980. The Cold War is at a boil. At 2:26 a.m., screens across US nuclear command centers flash one word: launch. 220 Soviet missiles inbound. Minutes to impact. Bomber crews run. Engines ignite. The president's airborne command post lifts off. Missile crews prepare to fire. The world is 10 minutes from ending. Then the numbers flicker. 220, 0, 2000, 0 again. Different screens show different totals. A real strike would be massive and consistent. This feels wrong. Radar sees nothing. Satellites confirm no launches. 6 long minutes after the first alert, false alarm. The cause, a faulty computer chip worth 46 cents, one faulty component feeding phantom attack data into the entire system. 6 minutes, the margin between a glitch and nuclear war, and it had nearly happened before. 46 cents. That's what humanity was worth that morning. Chapter 5. The Invisible Killer, Spanish Flu, 1918. It didn't arrive with a flash, it came with a cough. The world was already shattered by 4 years of war. Soldiers packed into trenches, civilians crammed into factories, perfect conditions for something invisible to spread. The first wave was mild, almost forgettable. Then the second wave hit. People woke up healthy and were dead by nightfall. Their skin turned blue as their lungs filled with fluid, drowning them from the inside. Young adults, the strongest, were hit hardest. Doctors had no explanation, no treatment. They were fighting blind. Philadelphia was warned not to hold a massive parade. Officials ignored it. Within 72 hours, hospitals were overwhelmed. Within 6 weeks, 12,000 were dead. The city ran out of coffins. Globally, 500 million infected, 1 in 3 humans, up to 100 million dead. US life expectancy dropped 12 years in a single year. The flu killed more people in 12 months than 4 years of World War I. Civilization survived only because the virus wasn't quite lethal enough, and it never disappeared. Every modern flu strain traces back to 1918. It didn't leave, it just went quiet. Chapter 6. The Demon's Kiss, Apophis, 2029. In 2004, astronomers spotted an asteroid and named it Apophis, after the Egyptian god of chaos. First calculations gave it a 2.7% chance of hitting Earth in 2029. In everyday life, 2.7% sounds harmless. In planetary defense, it's a 5-alarm emergency. Further data brought relief, but how close it will miss is what stays with you. On April 13th, 2029, Apophis will pass closer to Earth than our own geostationary satellites. No telescope needed. It will be visible to the naked eye, a mountain of rock 340 meters wide, drifting silently across the night sky. If the numbers had been off by the smallest fraction, if Apophis had passed through what scientists call a keyhole, a precise corridor in space, gravity would have bent its path directly toward Earth on its next return. An ocean impact would send walls of water over 100 feet high, racing toward every Atlantic coastline. New York, Lisbon, Lagos, Rio, gone in minutes. Apophis will miss, this time, but its flyby is a message carved in rock. The universe is not rooting for us. Conclusion. Every single day, you live in a world that survived things it had no right to survive. A rock that flew past in the night. A storm 9 days too early. A planet that clawed back from 96% extinction. A chip caught in 6 minutes. A virus that stopped just short. An asteroid with an appointment in 2029. The universe doesn't care, and yet, here we are. Which one gets under your skin the most? Drop it in the comments. And if you want more stories that history almost never got to tell, subscribe to Egg Talks. Stay curious. Stay awake. Every ordinary day is a miracle someone almost took away.